What's up, you guys? It's Tim. Thank you for choosing my video today about Ahsoka episode 5. Also, I wanted to thank you guys for checking out my last video, which you can check out right here if you want to check it out again, about episode 4 of Ahsoka. I got a pretty good amount of views on there, so thank you. But since you're here, if you could please go ahead and hit that like button for me, and we'll get this recap going. This series just keeps getting better and better and better. We're back on Cetos with Ahsoka and Sabine being long gone. Hera's trying to find him. She's there with Carson Teva and his team, and eventually Jason comes off of the ghost, and they come across Hu Yang, who is, for a droid, looks like he's showing some emotion about losing both Sabine and Ahsoka.
I told them to stay together. But they never listened.
It turns out that Jason was the key to finding at least Ahsoka because of his force abilities.
Don't you hear it?
The waves crashing?
No. The lightsabers.
He's actually able to hear the lightsaber battle between Ahsoka and Anakin in the World Between Worlds. More on Jason a little later, because I think there might be a chance he turns into something bigger if they continue this series. Anyway, let's go to the World Between Worlds, where we get the return of the man himself, Hayden Christensen. So he is...
I'm here to finish your training.
With one last lesson.
Live. Or die.
I won't fight you.
I've heard that before.
I will not fight you, Father.
I've seen a couple other reviews online where they say it's her Jedi trial. I mean, to her credit, Ahsoka does really well against her former master. I mean, we're talking about Anakin Skywalker here. I can't think of anybody else as good with a lightsaber aside from Yoda and Kelleran Beck, the sabered hand. We even see Ahsoka kick Anakin in the face. He actually cuts the pathway that they're dueling on. That sets off an awesome, bunch of flashback.
This is the Clone Wars!
Yeah, no kidding.
That takes us back through Ahsoka's apprenticeship with Anakin. So the first one is one of their first missions together. I guess it's at the Battle of Ryloth, which is the home of the Twi'leks, Hera's homeworld. Hera's father is actually Cham Syndulla, who's a freedom fighter for the Twi'leks, which pretty much is where Hera gets her leadership skills from. We get probably one of the best one-shots in this sequence from the Battle of Ryloth. Cut to another sequence. They go from the Battle of Ryloth to the Siege of Mandalore. This was towards the end of the Clone Wars series. At this point, Ahsoka is very well trained. She is fighting with a portion of the 501st.
I'll divide the 501st. Make a new division under Ahsoka's command.
And these are the guys that painted their helmets to match Ahsoka's face. You also see a bunch of Mandalorian super commandos. I think that's what they were called. I always called them Maldalorians myself. These were the faction of Death Watch that, followed Maul after he took over Mandalore. Ahsoka is alone here because Anakin was off busy doing this.
You're the Sith Lord.
I mean, maybe my timing's a little off, but that's pretty much around the timeline where they split, and then of course this happens.
Execute Order 66.
We get back to the World Between Worlds to continue the duel. And then we get another awesome one-shot. This episode, seriously, is... oh my goodness. One of my favorite episodes, not only of this series, but on in the Star Wars Disney Plus bunch of series. This duel, though, seriously, is the best one that I've seen since Revenge of the Sith. I mean, the fight choreography is amazing. Rosario Dawson actually wanted to train a lot to prepare for this duel. Towards the end, where she actually disarms Anakin, I wish they would have shown the hands between the two of them. I feel like she pulled the move that Anakin did to Dooku without having to cut his hands off. And Anakin also tried to do this move to Obi-Wan, but he couldn't pull it off. You actually see Ahsoka, you see her eyes kind of get that yellow that the Sith get, but she decides to choose light. We get, to me, what feels like a redemption of Anakin Skywalker, where the Sith part of him kind of goes away.
There's hope for you yet.
He goes away too. Ahsoka gets recovered by Carson Teva's team in the water, and she goes back to the Ghost to recover. I guess she was out for like a day or two. You get to see her actually without her band on top of her head, which is a first, I think, for me to see something like that, where I guess, I don't know if those are, I know for the Twi'leks they're called Leku. I don't know what it is, what they're called for Ahsoka's species, I guess. But they're actually attached to her head. They're part of her head. I never knew that. So of course Ahsoka is very grateful to young Jason.
I owe you my thanks.
Ahsoka uses a Force Echo to try to figure out what happened to Sabine.
Step away from her!
Force Echo is something that you see if you played the Fallen Order video game. I haven't played the Jedi Survivor video game, but I know for sure Cal Kestis uses Force Echoes in Fallen Order. She uses it to give her a history of what happened. She finds out that Balin and Shin had taken her to, probably Peredia to go find Thrawn. She's gonna depend on the Purgle to help her find her friend, and maybe even Ezra Bridger in the process. Ahsoka learned how to trust the Force, and basically they go into this space whale's mouth and go off, follow the Purgle migration patterns, and let's see where this goes. Because according to the star map, all lanes lead to Peredia. Leave it to Dave Filoni to not leave out this little detail between live-action Purgle and animated Purgle before heading into hyperspace. So back to Jason. I honestly think he's gonna be a big deal. You have Ahsoka, who might train him, or you even have possibly Ezra that could train him to become a Jedi.
Like poetry, so if they rhyme.
I love how Carson Teva actually had to explain the entire plan.
Correct. The whales will transport her and her ship, or at least that's the plan.
I think it was hilarious. So anyway, we have 3 episodes left in the series. I think we're in for a big treat, just based on the last 2 episodes alone. So anyways, thanks for liking my video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be back for future recaps of the Ahsoka series. Anyway, take care, and may the Force be with you.
Come on, let's go!